Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you out there, and I'm glad you're here. Today is December the 2nd. Can't believe we're in December already. And this is the regularly scheduled monthly meeting of the Alabama Public Service Commission. For the record, the public was notified of today's meeting by notice dated October 29th, 2025. Welcome and thank you for taking the time to be with us today. If you have not already done so, please take a moment to silence your personal devices. We have in attendance today, Place 1, Commissioner Jeremy Oden, Place 2, Commissioner Chris Beaker, and of course, I'm Cynthia Lee Allman. We also have Executive Director John Garner and Secretary Walter Thomas here with us. At this time, we're going to stand and have a prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's bow our heads. Dear God, bless our proceedings today. Give us wisdom to know what is just and the strength to do what is right. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just a couple of announcements. The Public Service Commission offices will, of course, be closed on Christmas Day, December 25th, and also on December the 26th. And we have a special presentation following our business today. We have Ellen McNair here with us today, Secretary of the Alabama Department of Commerce, and she will give a presentation on work that she is doing in her office with a special focus on data centers. So welcome, Ellen. We're glad to have you with us. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our November 4th meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Norman,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
All right. Minutes are approved. I don't see any old business, so we'll move on to new business. And we'll begin this morning with report from Utility Services Division, Mr. Jeff Johnston. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Today I'll be presenting the Utility Services Agenda dated November 21st, 2025, beginning with Consumer Services. For electric and gas utilities, there were slight increases with Alabama Power and Spire, Alabama, but nothing unusual, otherwise fairly consistent with years past. In telecommunications, for basic service, there was 1. For other retail services, 2. Referred inquiries were 7 for a total of 10. Moving to the natural gas agenda, under docket 18046 and 18328, Spire, Alabama, Inc., Division report on rate RSE as of October 31st, 2025. Based on preliminary figures, the projected RSE return on average common equity for the rate year ending September 30, 2026 was 9.76%, and this is within the range. Under docket 28101, Spire Gulf, Inc., Division report on rate RSE as of October 31, 2025. Again, based on preliminary figures, the projected RSE return on average common equity for the rate year ending September 30, 2026 was 9.63%. This was slightly below the range. Under docket U 5497, Spire, Alabama, Inc., application for approval of a special services agreement with Alabama Power Company Miller Steam Plant. We recommend approval.
Okay, are there any questions about this particular docket? Is this something we already have in place, a revision of an existing contract, or?
Yeah, it's just a continuation of an existing contract to update the terms.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Commissioner Norman,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Moving to the water agenda, under docket 33642, Pinnacle Wastewater Systems, petition for a rate adjustment with Pinnacle Wastewater Systems LLC with an effective date of January 1st, 2026. Staff recommends a suspension of up to 180 days in order to allow us time to review their submission and to analyze the need for the increase.
Okay. Questions? So they, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You probably asked the same question. Oh,
moved.
okay.
Second.
Commissioner Norman,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
My last item is in the telecommunication agenda under cancellations and withdrawals under docket 28083, reduced rate long distance LLC. They're requesting to relinquish their certificate of convenience and necessity to operate as a reseller of long distance telecommunication services. They are no longer providing services in Alabama and have no customers, so no customers will be affected. We recommend approval.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? If not, is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Norman,
Yes?
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
The
It is-
remaining items are for information only, so pending any questions, that concludes my presentation.
Any questions? Thank you very much. All right, next we have Mr. Jonathan Kimbrell, Gas Pipeline Safety Division.
Good morning,
Good
Commissioners.
good morning.
Today I'll be presenting the Gas Pipeline Safety Agenda dated November 21st, 2025. This report will reflect GPS's activities for the month of October. During the month of October, we were able to perform 94 inspections utilizing 128 in-person days with the operators. The inspections are broke down as 20 standard inspections, 8 construction, 16 operator qualification, 0 public awarenesses, 3 integrity management, 3 control room management, 4 section 114s, 10 drug and alcohol, and 30 follow-ups for the total of 94. Of the 94 inspections, there were 8 enforcement letters that cited 38 non-compliance items. There were also 23 non-compliance items that were able to be corrected out during the month of October. During the month, we were able to perform 4 operator/contractor training sessions. One was at Hartsville Utilities, one was at Huntsville Utilities, one was at Scottsboro Utilities, and the other was at Leak City and Athens, Alabama. There were no fire trainings done during the month. There were 5 state reportable incidents, and one of the 5 state reportables actually has been raised to the federal level. They are as follows. Upper Sand Mountain Gas District had a 2-inch gas main struck. There was an active 811 ticket, and a violation could be pending, or it was mismarked. The next was DeKalb Cherokee. A road paving crew was milling a street and was able to strike a shallow gas main. The milling machine was lost. It's projected to be $1 million machine, which will make it break the federal threshold on the monetary side. They have not got confirmation on the actual cost of the machine, but they have proceeded as if it's a federal incident already, in good faith. Riviera Utilities had a contractor strike a 2.5-inch steel gas main while excavating a subdivision entrance. The contractor did have an active locate ticket and was within the tolerances. Wilcox County had a contractor strike a 2-inch gas main while directional boring. They did not have an active ticket and have been submitted to the ALUDPA. The last is Spire, Alabama. A contractor was performing a directional bore. Spire was unable to locate the gas line and was on site. The directional bore found the gas line for them. it took an extended amount of time to be able to stop the flow of gas, make the repair with it being in the middle of an intersection. All other items are for informational purposes only, and before I ask if there's any pending questions, we do currently have the Gas Pipeline Safety Conference going on at the Renaissance. I encourage everybody that wants to attend to attend. It's great information. It's to help train our operators, our emergency responders, and our own staff on changing regulation. So it is riveting and thrilling if you would like to come down and participate in
I'm
it.
sure. Thank you.
But-
I think we do have a question from Commissioner Oden.
Yeah, just quick, Jonathan, on the cab Cherokee, was that an A11 or was it not even in the category of being a
So currently, under the damage prevention law, the DOT is exempt from having to have an 811 ticket for milling operations, and the law currently is being adjusted by legislature through a committee, and this is one of the things that is still being fought for. DOT says there's no safety concern for them to operate in the same parameters in which they already operate, and that is the general thinking, but we have just lost $1 million piece of machine for a shallow gas line that they say cannot exist on their right-of-ways.
That's okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, moving along. Utility Enforcement Division, Ms. Amanda Sheehan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
You have before you the Utility Enforcement Division's agenda dated November 21st, describing the activities performed during October. First, we will cover the railway safety section. There were 99 defects noted, 39 track defects, 53 equipment defects, and 7 OP defects. No violations were recommended during the month. Looking at page 2, there were 5 incidents reported by the National Response Center in October, 3 derailments, a vehicle strike, and a pedestrian strike. All 3 derailments occurred at low speeds without extensive damage or delays and were investigated by railway safety staff. There were also 3 complaints/safety concerns reported. 2 were block crossing complaints and 1 broken crossing gate was reported. Both block crossing complaints were directed to the FRA block crossing website to file their complaints, and the broken crossing gate was reported to the rail carrier by our staff, and repairs were made. Moving to the motor carrier services section, vehicle registration numbers were routine, while intrastate applications and insurance filings were up for the month. As of October 31st, 94% of Alabama carriers were registered for the 2025 UCR. Also, 2026 UCR registration opened on October 1st, and by the end of the month, we were 29% compliant. Staff participated in a show cause hearing for 7 carriers that failed to submit their 2024 annual reports as required for all household good and passenger carriers. 4 annual reports were received during the hearing. We had 1 passenger tariff and 1 passenger contract received and accepted during the month. Staff participated in 3 passenger carrier hearings, 1 passenger carrier audit, and 1 household good audit were completed during the month as well. Pending any questions, that's my report.
Are there any questions?
All right,
Thank you very
y'all.
much. Appreciate it. Next, Mr. John Free, Miss Patricia Smith, the Electricity Division. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, so you have before you the Electricity Policy Division's agenda dated November 21st, 2025. Ms. Patricia Smith will present the division's monthly update on rates RSC and ECR for Alabama Power Company.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
The first item on our agenda is the division's monthly report on rates RSC and ECR, and dockets 18117, 18416, and 18148. Starting with rate RSC, our staff performed the monthly examination of the books and records of Alabama Power Company. It was determined that the reprojected weighted return on average retail common equity was 6.59% for the 12 months ending December 31, 2025. This return is based on 10 months of actual data for January through October 2025 and 2 months of budget data for November and December 2025. The staff also performed the regular month review of Alabama Power's energy costs and determined that rate ECR was under-recovered approximately $19.5 million in October 2025. This is our report on rates RSC and ECR.
And can you please remind us, for the public's benefit, what ECR is?
The energy cost recovery is the fuel cost recovery.
Fuel cost recovery.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Good on that one?
Think so. Any questions on that?
Okay, we'll move to the next item, which is under docket U 5498. On November 13, 2025, the Alabama Municipal Electric Authority filed with the Alabama Public Service Commission an energy supply agreement providing for the supply of electric energy by Alabama Power Company to the authority on a wholesale basis for further supply of such energy to the authority's member, which is Riviera Utilities, located near Foley. So the energy supply agreement will facilitate the retail sale of electric power to a solar generation plant locating within Riviera Utilities service territory at or near Foley, Alabama. The staff recommends approval of this energy supply agreement.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions about this agreement?
I have none.
Can I get a motion?
So, yeah, second.
Commissioner Harmon,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker.
Yes.
Agreement is approved.
So pending any questions that you may have, this completes our report this morning.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have our legal division report. I believe we're going to hear from Luke Bentley, Chad Mason, and then followed by John Garner. So, good morning, Luke. We'll let you go first.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
I have the first two items on the legal agenda, and if it's okay with you, I'll present those together for one vote. The first item is under docket C 19111. It's a petition filed on behalf of Alfred Blackman Jr. doing business as AAA Transportation for cancellation of motor carrier certificates C3367 and FNP B45. I recommend a grant of that cancellation as requested. And my only other item is under dockets 32146 and C17525, the petition of BS Haulers, Inc. for cancellation of certificate F2528. And they also had cargo self-insurance. I recommend a grant of cancellation of their authority as requested and cancellation of their cargo self-insurance authority.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Harmon,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to Mr. Mason. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I have 3 items, and I'm going to take them each separately. First up is docket 33639, show cause proceeding for Camp Hill Utility Board to address failures to adequately respond to the Gas Pipeline Safety Division's notices of noncompliance with the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, or PHMSA, minimum pipeline safety regulations. I recommend an issuance of an order establishing a show cause proceeding for Camp Hill Utility Board.
All right, and just to be clear, so this is someone that we've tried to address safety concerns with, and we're asking, they've been non-compliant or non-responsive or inadequately responded, and we
Yes,
asked for a
ma'am. This one
hearing.
in particular, I have another one. This one, Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong. This one, it was the severity of the non-compliance issues because it was back in October. The violations were found, and Gas Pipeline Safety has recommended that we do go to a show cause, and I actually had a show cause proceeding a couple years back with Camp Hill as well already. So
Okay.
we think it's adequate to go to a show cause.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Harmon,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden?
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker?
Yes.
All right, order is approved.
Okay, on to my next item, under docket 33640, show cause proceeding for City of York Gas Department to address failures to adequately respond to the Gas Pipeline Safety Division's notices of noncompliance with PHMSA's minimum pipeline safety regulations, and I recommend an issuance of an order establishing a show cause proceeding for City of York Gas Department. And this one goes back to January of 2024. We found and we've had issues, and they have yet to be corrected.
Thank you. All right, any questions? And if not, is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Almond?
Yes.
Commissioner Oden?
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker?
Yes.
Order's approved, and you've got one more.
Yes, ma'am. Under docket 33608, Alabama Public Service Commission versus all motor carriers who failed to file annual reports for 2024 operations. A hearing was held for all motor carriers who failed to file their annual reports for 2024 operations. Recommend a revocation of all carriers who failed to appear at the show cause hearing, dismissal of all carriers from proceeding who have now complied or otherwise shown good cause why they should be dismissed from this proceeding.
Wait, do we have a number of?
We do. Actually, Ms. Sheehan addressed it earlier. We have 4 showed for there were 7 total. 4 showed for the or provided their annual reports,
Okay.
and then 3 have not, and they will be revoked.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Almond?
Yes?
Commissioner Oden?
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Judge Garner, I believe you're next.
I am,
and-
Madam President. Thank
Yes,
you. I have
sir.
the last 2 items on the legal division agenda. They are complex in nature, so bear with me. These recommendations are a little more lengthy than you see normally, but it's kind of necessary given the subject matter. So the first item is under docket 32382. Consistent with the requirements of the Certificate of Convenience and Necessity granted in docket 32382, Alabama Power Company is proposing 2 25-year energy purchase agreements in connection with 2 solar projects known as Stockton 1 Solar and Stockton 2 Solar. The projects will be constructed, owned, operated, and maintained by SR Stockton 1 LLC and SR Stockton 2 LLC, respectively. Stockton 1 is 80 megawatts, Stockton 2 is 180 megawatts. As part of its proposal, the company is also requesting approval of 2 project confirmations under the master contract for renewable subscription program, which I'll refer to as a participation contract, between Alabama Power and its customer Dodier LLC. Dodier is a corporate subsidiary of Meta Platforms Inc. Meta is the entity that is constructing a data center south of Montgomery. Dodier has subscribed to 100% of the environmental attributes yielded by the Stockton 1 and Stockton 2 solar projects. The staff has reviewed the information provided by the company together with other information obtained through the review process and has determined that the Stockton 1 and Stockton 2 solar projects meet the criteria specified in the certificate granted in 32382. The staff likewise finds that the Dodier participation contracts are in the furtherance of the objectives set forth in the Commission's order granting certification in this cause. If the energy purchase agreements and participation contracts with Dodier are approved by the Commission, the Stockton 1 and Stockton 2 solar projects are expected to commence commercial operation on or before December 31, 2028. The staff from the Legal Division and the Electricity Policy Division recommend approval of the proposed Stockton 1 and Stockton 2 solar projects, as well as the accompanying participation contracts with Dodier for the Stockton 1 and Stockton 2 solar projects.
Okay, thank you very much. So, just again, these are 2 new solar projects that are basically initiated by Meta, which is here in Montgomery, that once completed will be added to Alabama Power's generation mix. Am I saying all that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And our job is to, your job is to review all the details, and our job is to approve at your recommendation if we so see fit. Are there any questions, other questions from the Commission? Comments? All right, I think this is a great thing and excited about it. I'm going to ask for a motion.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Harmon,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Beacon.
Yes.
The next item I have for presentation is on page 4 of the Legal Division agenda. On November 21, 2025, Alabama Power Company made an informational filing with the Commission in dockets 18148, U5494, 18117, and 18416. The filing outlined a multi-part proposal to provide customers with rate certainty in 2026 and 2027. This proposal, which was developed through discussions with the staff, would accomplish the following. First, the current rate CNP C factor for the recovery of costs associated with governmental mandates would stay in effect through the end of 2027. The current rate CNP Part B factor for the recovery of costs associated with purchase power arrangements would stay in effect through March 2028. The current interim ECR factor for the recovery of fuel and other energy-related costs would stay in effect through the end of 2027. And the effectiveness of CNP Part A, the adjustment for the recovery of costs associated with the Lindsay Hill acquisition, would be delayed until January 2028 billings. To implement these commitments, the company would rely on internal cost containment measures, but also would need authorization from the Commission to first apply any customer refund amount resulting from rate RSC's actual result calculation for 2025 to the Natural Disaster Reserve, or the NDR as we call it, which currently has a negative balance. This would forestall an increase associated with rate NDR, and it would allow the company to better prepare for future storm costs, which are most likely inevitable in Alabama given the spring weather and possibly the winter weather. Second, the company would need authorization from the Commission to use the 2024 nuclear production tax credits, or PTCs, when monetized to offset retail cost of service in 2027. Any nuclear PTCs from 2025, 2026, and 2027, when monetized, would be used to offset future retail costs of service, including any under-recovered balances under rates CNP and ECR, and all of that would be subject to Commission oversight in docket U5494. Staff recommends the entry of a consent order with the described directives and authorizations to implement this proposal. This recommendation is based on the fact that the company's proposal has a lot of merit. It would provide needed rate stability for customers for the next couple of years, and it would also put some downward pressure on customer rates in the interim. However, there is a significant matter that the company's filing does not address, and that is what happens with their RSC filing for 2027. With that, the staff strongly recommends that the Commission consider requiring that there will be no operation of Alabama Power's RSC mechanism in 2025 as part of the adoption of this proposal.
Okay. It's a complicated filing, and there's a lot in there, but I think the summary of it is a proposal to freeze rates for at least the next 2 years by Alabama Power Company, and within certain parameters. And so I know there's probably questions and comments from Commission, so Mr. Oden.
I have one that you addressed, Judge, on the RSC for 2027. I know yesterday we got the 2026 filing, but I'm like you, I don't think it addresses the 2027. So I would like for that, if we can continue that moratorium into 2027, let's put this already in the order, and that way the RSC for 2027 will be included in that moratorium, fully giving a 2-year look and review. So I'm going to put that in form of a motion, I guess. And so so basically what we're trying to do is include the RSC in the 2027 procedure with this. So therefore RSC will be also included in the 2-year refrain.
Okay. So can you state your motion for the record, please?
So I would like to make a motion that we include the moratorium until the 2027 RSC filing as well.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
That good, Walter?
Second.
Right, so there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this particular motion?
I mean, we're extending the moratorium to 2027.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
what that.
well, I agree with that.
Yeah, so what that motion will do is put the RSC of 2027 also in all of the other states that says, everything else states 2027, so we're going to throw the RSC in there as well.
Okay.
So that's what basically my motion is.
All right, I second.
We have a motion and a second.
Commissioner Harmon,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. All right, back to the filing and the recommendation by staff for the entry of a consent order. Are there other comments or questions?
I think I'm going to, if that's fine, Madam President, I'd like to make another statement if I can. You know, with the Trump energy directives that he's giving out and all that's happening right now in the energy world, we really don't know the extent of those implications and stuff until they really take effect. And I think today's order, with this order, gives us a good assurance that we can look at what's happening in the energy world, pause these rates for 2 years, and then come back and adjust and look at this, you know, over a period of time. I think that's one of the biggest things that this order actually allows us to do. You know, we know that cost of living in Alabama is huge. We know that it's all over the country. And so that is part, I think, that we need to address and see. The affordability of energy across the whole country is a question. But, you know, I want us to be assured that, you know, we're going to be looking at the company. We'll be looking at what is happening in the next 2 years, especially with the administration's push on what they're doing. And I know that this seems to come across of y'all. There was a lot of work that was put into this order. And so I want to thank my fellow commissioners for taking Thanksgiving break and all of this, and we were working on this order and all of the stuff that actually happened, especially the staff, Judge and John. We appreciate all y'all's hard work over that. And the company and also the AG's office was involved. And so we want to thank everybody for that, and I think this is a good measure, Madam President, that we can do.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, any comments? Or?
I agree.
Okay. Just a couple of things from me. Just to be clear, this moratorium would only apply, and I'm directing this, it's a question to you, Judge, would only apply to upward adjustment of RSC and not to any possible downward adjustment that would occur?
That is correct, Madam President.
Okay, all right. I also want to acknowledge some questions or comments we received by email asking us, you know, why would we not take the surplus from the power company that is in existence this year and apply it to rates for next year so that next year's rates for ratepayers would be reduced. And certainly that is an option on the table. It is every year that there's a surplus. And Judge, I'm going to ask you to explain why you're preferring the route that we're going rather than to refund ratepayers this year.
Well, the staff feels that given the current state of the natural disaster reserve, which has a negative balance, and there's actually a charge that's associated with that, which we're trying to avoid. This would, if this is going forward with this would wipe out that negative balance, and as we said, take that off the table, and it would better position the company to deal with inevitable storm damages that got us to where we are, that transpired last spring. And over the course of the last couple of springs, actually, we've just had a lot of incidents that have to be dealt with, and so the staff felt like that was actually in the long run better for customers to get that mechanism, the NDR, back to where it needs to be.
All right, thank you very much. So there's a natural disaster reserve fund that's negative right now, and if that stays negative, that can be charged back to the customer on their bill. So one of the things we're doing with the money, or you propose that we do with the money instead, is to shore up that fund so that that cost does not get sent to the ratepayer. Stop me if I say something incorrectly.
That's correct.
Okay. And in the past, I think we have, from time to time, I guess I want people to understand what what a refund typically ends up looking like. I think you said to me maybe $2 to $3, $4 per person is what it typically, once you spread it out among all ratepayers, can be. Is that right?
Normally, that would be the range you're talking about. It can vary, but yeah, for the average customer, yeah, that's pretty generally accurate.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Can I follow through with one?
Please.
Also, with the NDR being in a negative, that means it stems a rate for the customers if that's not in a positive scenario. So with us taking that money and putting it into the NDR, that's going to negate anything that we have to do on that line. Am I
That's
correct on
Yeah.
that, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Also, I think in this order, the new plant is going to be taken over in 2027. And so that in itself is going to be a huge savings for the customers just in that 1 year that the company is actually going to take that on themselves and not apply that to the ratepayer. So I think if you look at the whole thing, it's going to be a good time. And like I said, it's a good time that we can sit back and actually look and see what's happening in the energy world coming through. But
Thank you.
can
Yeah,
throw anything
no,
else
I
out.
think that's great.
Commissioner, can I just out of an abundance of precaution,
Yes.
can I make sure we get a motion on the
Yeah.
original filing as it was presented, just to make sure that we're procedural?
Yes, I'm getting ready I was going to do that next, I think. And if there's no further discussion, I move for the issuance of a consent order, I guess as amended or by Commissioner Oden, that reflects the various directives and authorizations set forth in Alabama Power Company's informational filing as recommended by staff, but with the and as amended by Mr. Oden, but with the additional condition, and I think this is your motion, that the company would also need to consent to a moratorium on any upward adjustment under rate RSE for 2027.
That's correct.
And that's my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Commissioner Almond,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker.
Yes.
Thank you. The consent order is so ordered and as amended. I want to reiterate what has already been said. Thanks to staff, particularly Alabama Power Company, Attorney General's office, for really diving in over these last however many days over Thanksgiving and getting us to this point. We appreciate all your hard work. All right, let me get my stuff
Do
working.
you have the administrative agenda
Oh,
to
yes,
present?
okay, please.
It's very straightforward. It is simply the pending motor carrier matters, which are all perfunctory in nature. I recommend approval of all those items.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Almond,
Yes.
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker.
Yes.
And with that, Madam President, I'll be quiet now.
Thank you very much. Okay, is there I don't think there's any further new business to come before the commission. And if not, then we welcome to the podium Ellen McNair, again, Secretary for the Alabama Department of Commerce, to give us a presentation this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and to join us.
Well, I really do want to begin, and how do I have to, it will come up? Okay. Well, it's coming up. Thank you so very much for inviting me to speak today. And as I get into my presentation, I promise it won't be long, it'll be brief. It'll show you why I think it's really important that we get to know each other better and that we work a lot closer. So I may have to do an interpretive dance as I explain my presentation here.
We'll get there.
Get it to come up. Always used to that, and I I do have it in.
We just practiced with it a little
You
while
just
ago.
do? Of
Yeah.
course. Well, it always works that way, right? I
Yeah.
always hate to be in charge of the AV when
No.
a presentation is given, because
That's not my
all
area.
eyes are always on the person trying to get it to
I
work.
know.
There it is.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. And I guess I can advance it with this, right? Well,
Where does she need to point?
do I need to? There we go. Okay, we're ready to go now. Yeah, put it right at him, right. Well, again, thank you so much. And, you know, as the Department of Commerce, our job is to recruit and work with our existing industries to provide jobs for Alabamians and high-paid jobs for Alabamians. And when we work with site selectors around the world, every year there's a survey done by site selectors on what are the most important factors that impact economic development. My background, I've been in economic development more years than I will admit to, but I've been at the local level most of my career. And I think that's an important background for me to have, because the importance of the local economic developer is critical. But as you look this year, it's a very different list than it has been in past years. So obviously the tariffs have greatly impacted the site selection search. That is a very new thing, obviously, and it is settling down a bit, and we'll see that probably adjust down the list. But what is really, I think, very important, and why I'm here today, and I think the reason that we'll work together a lot more, is the availability of energy is now the second most important factor that impacts economic development. And I can tell you from my years of experience, that has never been even on the list in you know, just the last couple of years that has shown up. Site scarcity, obviously the availability of great sites, workforce is always in the top 5. Usually it's been number 1 or number 2. And then community reputation, or the quality of place in a community. So you can see the reason that President Armand invited me here today, because the cooperation and coordination between our agencies, I think, is going to be critical in the success of economic development for the state of Alabama. When I took this job back 2 years ago, the one thing Governor Ivey asked me to do was to do an economic development strategy for the state of Alabama. It had been quite some time since that had been done, 2012, and a lot had changed since that time, obviously. So when you say it fast, to do an economic development strategy, it doesn't sound like a big thing, but it really was a tremendous amount of effort done by so many folks around the state. But you can see here quickly the 8 targeted sectors that really came out of that. And that was from our existing industry and targeted sectors that we will be pursuing in the future. Really not surprising, probably to any of you, what those target sectors are. But the point I'm trying to make here is that we have a very defined strategy with tactics and outcomes, and it's very organized and very strategic as we approach economic development in the state of Alabama. We have a project team that's divided into sectors, that each of these project teams works and implements a strategy in each of these sectors. We also have opened 2 foreign offices in the last 2 months. Very excited to add the Japanese office and our South Korea office to our existing effort in Europe. These are even more so important now with the tariffs and the opportunities around the world. Germany, Japan, and South Korea are the 3 countries that have the largest foreign direct investment in the state of Alabama. So that's why these areas have been targeted. Obviously, the European office covers a greater area than just Germany, but we are very excited to have full-time presence in all three of these international offices that are going to greatly impact our success. And it will hopefully slow down some of the international travel that some of our staff is having to do. Just last year, and again, just want to kind of cover this as an overview. In 2024, we announced over $7 billion in capital investment in the state of Alabama with over 8,500 jobs. And you can see the breakdown with new and expanding. And I want to stress that the work with our expanding industries is equally as important as bringing in new industries to the state of Alabama. That is a critical part. And the confidence that our existing industries show us when they continue to expand in the state, we take that very seriously, and we work very hard to show that that we are worthy of that investment. That represents over 220 projects that we worked last year. Real quick, do you have any questions with any of this so far? I just want to be sure I'm not rushing through. So currently, wanted to let you look, this is our pipeline. We have almost 200 active projects now, and you can see the breakdown there in the sectors that that we are working. With about 130 or so active projects, and the others are either about to be announced or have pending incentives. And again, you can see the breakdown with new and expanding, and that 60-40, 70-30 ratio pretty much holds up every year. That's a pretty consistent ratio. So a great pipeline. This has been a great year. So just kind of circling back that as background, really want to explain that while the Department of Commerce, and of course led by our governor, is responsible for the strategic planning, the support, the resources of our economic development effort, it is by no means a singular effort. And I really have saw that at the local level, how many people need to be involved in the recruitment of a major project. It is incredible how many folks need to be at the table doing their job well, and that is the strength, I believe, of Alabama's success, is the coordination, cooperation, and the work between all the different partners. So I've just thrown up, just in this particular slide, just a quick example of some of those partners. And again, have a heart for those local economic developers, because quite frankly, that's where the rubber meets the road. They are out there developing those sites, working with their partners to provide the workforce and the support, the continuing support for those existing industries and the new industries that select their communities. They are such an important part of this effort. Our transportation partners, whether it's our airports, whether it's our port, our railroads, our surface transportation, those transportation partners are key members of our site selection team, and they are at almost every single facet and involved in almost every single project we work. And then obviously our utility providers. That is a huge component, and as you saw on that site selection factors, one of the most critical. So this is important to understand that we are doing this as a team. It is not one organization. It is not one individual person or effort. All of our efforts are done as Team Alabama, and we have really stressed that in our economic development strategy, in the implementation strategy, that we are all at the table together. And that is, quite frankly, in my many years of experience, the secret between success and failure is that all of these folks are together, working together for success. So we do look at every single project that comes. We do due diligence, and we look at that along with our partners to make sure that each project we are working is to the benefit of our existing industries and to the people of the state of Alabama. And that includes our data center projects. And I do have some firsthand experience with that. My local experience is in Montgomery. I was with the Montgomery Chamber for many years and had the opportunity to actually work with the project you discussed earlier today with that Meta project. I want you to see what a successful project looks like, and that this was about 2 months ago at the announcement of the expansion of that Meta project in Montgomery. Here you've got representatives of the state, the local, both elected officials, private businesses, all the facets, all the people that were involved in the expansion, the successful expansion of that Meta project are here celebrating, in this picture, are celebrating the success of the recruitment and the announcement of that project. And that's when you know it's been a successful project, when the state, local, and the company, the elected officials, the private businesses all come together and say, this was a tremendous benefit for our state and our community. I can tell you is, again, the energy requirements for our projects have increased significantly, not just for the data center projects, but across the board. In all the sectors that we work, those energy requirements have increased. And so to be competitive, we are going to have to work together and make sure that we are utilizing our resources in the best way possible. And I really look forward to continuing communication with the commission and to work together to ensure the data center projects that we work pay their way. They are committed. They are stepping up before these type of celebrations happen. Those contracts are done and the commitment to pay is there. They are not drawing resources from other projects, from other citizens. So this can be very successful, was successful with the Meta project in Huntsville, with the Google project in Jackson County. So when it's done well, as a team, as a whole collaboration of entities, it is a huge success for everybody. So I hope I didn't go too long over that, but are there any questions, comments? And again, I just really welcome, thank you so much for reaching out to me and to inviting me to speak today, letting us, show you what we are doing behind the scenes, and would love the partnership to work closer together.
Thank you very much. We often all get up here and do our own jobs every day and work in silos, and it's really nice to have you here and sort of giving us your viewpoint and help us understand what you are doing in the same arena that we are working in. So thank you for sharing that, and I'll yield to my colleague here who I think has comments or questions.
Madam Director, it was a wonderful presentation. I love your comment about all of us working together.
Absolutely.
It takes all of us. Just a really quick overall look, we deal more than just power and
Right.
all the utilities. Give us a brief synopsis of what that may encompass when a company comes into Alabama and says, okay, this is the side, or this is the, so what are they looking for as far as the utility
Great
side
question.
of all
Yeah,
of it?
great question. So we have all our utility partners at the table when they come. And great point, it is not just the power component. So we have our natural gas partners there. They're very involved in our site selection recruitment processes. They're part of our, of our team for sure. And then water. I mean, water is a huge component to many projects. And again, not just focused on data centers, but again, for all of our industries, the availability of water is very important. So we will have, depending on where in the state they're looking, we will have our power folks there, our natural gas folks there, and then typically it's a local water organization that comes to the table. So we meet, I mean, they are at the very forefront. Within the request for proposal, at the very beginning of a project, a company will provide us with a request for proposal, and they will outline what are their requirements in each of these areas. So we immediately would send, whether it's TVA, Power South, Alabama Power, that RFP to our power partners. Natural gas, the same way, Southeast Alabama Gas, Spire, whoever it may be. And then the locals usually handle the water piece of it. And then they all feed in to the RFP, and then we send it to the company. So we may be looking at 7 different sites across the state, so we may have a different combination of energy providers that are feeding into our request for proposal. But for each one of those sites, those folks are at the table at the very initiation of a project.
So your job is to bring all of those together.
Yes,
and
sir.
present one plan.
My knowledge is an inch deep and a mile wide. So I've got a really good old-fashioned Rolodex. So we work with everybody across the board, whether it's ADEM, ALDOT, Alabama Power, CSX Rail, the Alabama Port. So we pull all of that, all of those factors that go into a site selection search, workforce, the Department of Revenue. All of these folks have to come to the table as we go out to recruit industry. So it is a great, if you love to compete as a team, this is a great career to be in.
Good job. Good job.
Just thank you for coming today
thank you.
and presenting that. And, please keep up the good work. I know it is a team effort.
Yeah.
I've been there before. Let's go team.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your time today.
thank you.
Okay. And if there's no further business, we will stand adjourned. Thank you very much.